Your one stop for everything professional wrestling in West Virginia is at facebook.com/The WR Show.
Welcome back to the Wrestling Radio Show here on 1340 AM The Jock. A unique wrestling experience tonight. I couldn't find any of its kind. I'm calling it the Great American Wrestling Debate. Now coming up on Sunday, November 12th at the Roll-A-Rama, 137th 7th Avenue in Huntington. Action-packed wrestling, live pro wrestling. Your main event for that evening is going to be the progressive liberal Daniel Richards taking on Jock Samson. And I've had both of those gentlemen on the show in the past, and actually the last time I had the progressive liberal on, he challenged Jock Samson to a debate. So that's where we are tonight. It is the Great American Wrestling Debate here on the Wrestling Radio Show. Gentlemen, please introduce yourself. Jock Samson, go ahead.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Mr. Jock Samson, and I hail from the great state of Ohio. I've been wrestling for 13 years, and I've been looking forward to telling a liberal what I think.
Progressive liberal Daniel Richards, please introduce yourself.
I am the progressive liberal Daniel Richards, and I reside in Virginia, which, unlike Ohio, actually is a great state because we voted for the person who should be president instead of the embarrassment joke we have right now, Donald Trump, who somehow swung Ohio. Russia probably helped, I would imagine, and that's coming out. But I'm here to debate Jock and abuse him verbally before I really, truly abuse him physically this Sunday in West by God, Virginia.
All right, gentlemen, before the show started, we all agreed that we would keep it clean tonight, so please keep that in mind as we get into round one of the Great American Wrestling Debate here on the Wrestling Radio Show. Progressive Liberal, first question goes to you, Jock Samson. We will wait for your response. Progressive Liberal, explain to us why the liberal viewpoint is the viewpoint that will make America great again.
Well, you see what the conservative viewpoint is doing for America right now. We've lost our favorable standing among the world while Donald Trump continues to embarrass us. And I'm very proud that I'm going to get to embarrass physically as well as verbally right here on the air a Trump supporter, a Trump lackey like Jock Samsonite. Not only am I going to get to do it, but I'm going to get to do it in a state that had a greater percentage of Trump voters than any other state, a state that should be very embarrassed of that fact, and that's West Virginia.
Jock Samson, your response to that?
Well, he wants to go ahead and say that he's concerned about America's standing in the world, and I'm going to tell you, it's never been better in the entire world because people right now are actually bowing down to the United States. Yeah, they hate us, and they'll always hate us, but they're just plumb scared of us, and I'm not really worried, about people's feelings because I know that's a liberal way to go about it. When you don't get what you want, you get upset and your feelings get hurt. Our economy's doing just fine.
I think that's such a duplicitous response. First of all, the party that's in power, the Republicans, have this persecution complex. And another thing about Republicans, all of the people, West Virginia for that matter, is anything they point the finger at other people is doing, they're actually equally guilty of, if not more so. They're just the biggest bunch of hypocrites there ever were. So Jock Samson calls us liberals whiners, but he continually cries, continually complains. I didn't verbally attack him. He started this whole thing, if you recall, with his interview, which is all over the place. But I'm here to finish it, and I'm going to finish it Sunday night in Huntington.
All right, Jock Samson, with the statements being made by the Progressive Liberal, we will go on to question number 2 because it is to you, Progressive Liberal. We will wait for your response. Jock Samson, we want you to give us 3 reasons why you hate liberals.
Well, it's too bad I only get 3 reasons. Well, as I've already stated, reason number one, they're like a bunch of little kids who wanted something for Christmas and never got it, so they're going to throw a temper tantrum until their parents give in. You know, we supported Obama for the last 8 years, even though we did not agree with his stance. Yeah, I didn't think Obama was a horrible human being, but I tell you right now, he did more to divide this country than anyone in the history of the human race. So, two, I get sick and daggum tired of liberals wanting to take our guns away, and all they do is preach about gun rights, gun rights, gun rights. We got to take away the guns because guns are killing people. Yeah, sure, guns are killing people, but people with mental illness are the ones pulling the trigger. And the Democrats have all these ideas about what are we going to do about taking away the guns? What are they going to do when a criminal goes to the black market and gets himself an AK-47 and goes up and shoots up another church? And three, the one thing I hate liberals probably for the most is that they constantly preach like how they support abortion. Like there's nothing more that I hate than abortion. Girls going to go ahead and they can make the decision to sleep around and be promiscuous, but they have no consequences. That is a human life. And I think it's funny that liberals all across the world are okay with abortion. They're okay with abortion, but they're the first ones standing in line when a mass murderer is up on the death penalty, up on the, getting ready to get the death penalty put on him. So, and they just want to cry about all that. And it's like a walking hypocrisy. So the whole party, like my opponent here, is just a walking hypocrisy. They want it their way, but if they don't get it their way, they're going to stomp and cry and throw fit, just like the guy whose ass I'm going to kick on Sunday.
Now, Mr. Sean, we were supposed to keep this clean, and he has already dropped a swear word.
Yeah, yes, gentlemen, yes.
I got more than that, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, easy, boys. Like we said, we're going to keep it clean tonight. Don't forget.
Rule breaker.
This is a.
That's what I'm saying. The people of West Virginia like to cheer for bad guys, and then good guys like me who just want to help them do better, and preach things like, hey, let's move away from coal so you can get better jobs and, get with the program, get with the future. They hate me for it.
Well, you keep talking about better jobs. Are you going to get them better jobs? Like you keep coming down here and preaching to good people about getting jobs. Are you going to get them good jobs?
No, Jock Samsonite. I'm personally not going to be giving them the jobs, but there's people there that are qualified to train them in the higher education for jobs of the future and clean energy. And again, you guys always like to catastrophize and fearmonger among your stupid fan base, but the truth is, I didn't say, out with coal right away. No, that wouldn't be right. Let's slowly get away from it. Let's slowly move into other things, because I know West Virginians fear change. That's why they stay in West Virginia. So that's why I want to gradually get them into this stuff. You're the one that likes to catastrophize and fearmonger and mentally enslave all these inferior-minded people when I'm actually the one trying to uplift them and help them. But for some reason they cheer you because you talk with a country accent. And forgive me if I enunciate words and pronounce things properly, but that's the liberal trying to help.
You liberals have all these ideas, but you got no tact to follow through with them. So I hope you got.
Well, the people there are too stupid to vote for a liberal and put them in office. you talk about, what if a criminal goes in the black market, gets a gun, blah, blah, blah. Again, fear-mongering once again. The thing is, actually, if we did take away all the guns, which, by the way, Obama didn't try to do, I'm not trying to do, no previous liberal in office has tried to do, but you like to catastrophize and do the old persecution complex thing anyways. But if we actually did take away all the guns, then no criminal could get an AK-47. Well, at least, what? And one criminal getting an AK-47 would be better than every single mass shooter that we've had using, you guessed it, an AK-47, because that's what happens. And we've had the worst mass shooting. 3 of the worst mass shootings in history have come in the last year. And what do they have? They have semi-automatic and automatic weapons. But you guys want to just hope and pray that it gets better, and it hasn't worked yet. The progressive liberal comes with ideas, and you guys outright reject them, then try to make me out to be the bad guy. The time for talk and time for ideas is done. I'm going to kick your ass in the ring in Huntington, and all across West Virginia, anywhere. I'll come to Ohio and do it. And then you can come to Virginia and get your ass kicked here, too.
All right,
Just
gentlemen,
like
gentlemen.
Right now.
Gentlemen,
and you can get in a car, get in your, electric car and come up to my house and
let's keep it clean.
Happens.
Gentlemen, calm down, please. Calm down.
Civic. I don't have an electric car yet.
Gentlemen.
I'm going there. And by the way, that's not a bad thing.
Come on up. Come on
All
up.
right,
So
boys.
let's not even wait. I'll come down there.
All
I'll
right,
give you
boys.
halfway.
Save it for Sunday.
Give me your address, boy.
Save it for Sunday, boys. Save it for Sunday.
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Save it for Sunday, November 12th at the Roll-A-Rama. It's action-packed wrestling live, pro wrestling, 137 7th Avenue in Huntington. That is going to wrap up round 1. We're going to take a break, and we will be back for round 2 on the Wrestling Radio Show, the Great American Wrestling Debate. Wrestling Radio Show returns on 1300, 1340 AM. The Jock. This is the Great American Wrestling Debate. Never in the history of wrestling, at least what I could find from my research, has ever been anything like this, where we take two people, two opponents, and we let them debate with each other their morals, their values, and their beliefs before they square off with each other in the ring. It's coming up on Sunday, November 12th, action-packed wrestling, live pro wrestling, the Roll-A-Rama, 137 7th Avenue in Huntington. Doors open at 6 p.m. and bell time scheduled for 7 p.m. Our two debaters tonight are the progressive liberal Daniel Richards and Jock Samson. We begin round 2, progressive. First question goes to you, Jock Samson. We will wait for your response. Jock Samson made comments about using closed fists on Sunday night. One of the more sensitive subjects in this country is bullying. Does the progressive liberal think Jock Samson is a bully? And how does the progressive liberal handle a bully?
Well, I don't know that Jock Samsonite is a bully. I don't think he's tough enough to really play that role. What I do think, though, is he's like every right-winger that I've ever known. Right-wingers cannot win a straight-up one-on-one contest playing by the rules, not against a savvy Democrat, especially one like me. So what he's going to do, he's going to bend and break the rules. He's probably going to use outside interference like Russia or something to that degree. You get what I'm saying? And that's the only way he even has a chance. The ref will tell you. Ref tells you, hey, you got to use open hands. You can't use a closed fist. But what does Jock Samson want to do? He wants to use a closed fist. And, I mean, I can play that game, but I like to have a straight-up one-on-one contest so I can beat you fair and square, because I know if I use closed fists, you're going to say I'm cheating, you're going to say I broke the rules, and that's the only reason I beat you. You're pretty much using closed fists, so you might have an excuse built in to why I beat you.
Jock Samson, your response.
You're 100% correct. I am not a bully. I am just a common, simple man, is a professional wrestler by trade to support my wife and daughter. And this Sunday is going to be the first time in my life that I'm going to be a bully. Because you can say I'm going to bend and break the rules. Yeah, that's fine and dandy, okay? Because the Democrats are criminals that have been breaking the rules. Let's talk about Hillary a little bit, about her breaking all the rules.
She's a good,
honest
lady. If it
wasn't for the good graces of Donald freaking Trump, she would be in prison right now with all the crap that she's done. How long you got on Benghazi?
Well,
all right, I don't want to take up all that time.
To be investigated, but they won't do it because they're so busy with Russia and all his collusion.
Yeah, you keep talking about Russia. You know, this Sunday, I'm coming down to Huntington. I'm going to tape up my fist. I'm going to bully you. And, Sean, do me a favor. Get that buzzer ready. And if this liberal doesn't freaking like it, I'm going to grab him by the pussy and see how he likes that shit.
Gentlemen, Jock Samson, I'm gonna give you another warning on that one. Again, I will tell you, Jock, please, gentlemen, keep it clean. There are children out there listening. Not only is this a show for the wrestling fans, it's to educate the non-wrestling fans. So please, gentlemen, try to keep it clean.
Let me ask you something, Sean, and Mr. Samsonite. I don't get something. All you Republicans are supposed to be the party of God, but here you go using the potty mouth. What would that Jesus fella do? That's what I want to know.
Jesus wouldn't judge nobody. Like you Democrats are judging us left and right, calling us dumb hillbillies. You don't even know our people. You don't even know
the people. Well, if you quit acting like one, I would not call it. You're from Richmond,
Virginia. You come from Richmond, Virginia. That's a pretty big. Am I right? Is it Richmond?
It's an urban city. Yes.
Yeah, you come from an urban city. You wouldn't understand the plight of a working man. What'd you do? Would you sleep until like 3 o'clock? I'm glad we had this at 12. I'm glad we had this at night. Because if we would have had this at like 10 o'clock in the morning, you would have still been asleep waiting on that check to come in.
First of all, I make plenty of money wrestling, my friend, as well as in other ventures. So don't you worry about that. And by the way, the progressive liberal gets up at 5 a.m. every single morning, Jock Samsonite. So, again, you guys hate how you're caste-typed, but you go right back and do it. You're the hypocrites, okay? I'm just telling you, this is I don't know where all this false outrage comes from, Jock Samsonite, but I'm going to beat it out of you this Sunday, you guessed it, in Huntington, West Virginia, at the Roll-A-Rama for Action-Packed Wrestling. And they have to spell it with an R because all you stupid rednecks over there in West by God, Virginia, can't spell, and they got to spell it differently to match your pronunciation of it. Embarrassing.
All right, gentlemen, let's.
People. Ain't you got a little busy? Don't you got to go like vandalize and throw stuff through windows and go?
What are you talking about?
And all that? Is that what? That's all you guys did during the election? I feel it's been 1 year.
Oh God! Did you see your people when Obama won?
Oh, you gentlemen, We didn't
like the
gentlemen, easy. Let's settle down.
I had a picture of Obama in my house.
Let's settle down before we get heated again.
Well, you can't throw darts at it.
Easy.
To act like it's a good thing.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to question number 2 in round 2. Jock Samson, this one goes to you. Progressive Liberal, we will wait for your response. Jock Samson, let's play a game of what if. 2020 rolls around and Jock Samson is elected to the highest office in the free world. President of the United States. What is one of the first things that Jock Samson does for America?
The absolute first thing that I do, besides bring jobs, because that goes without being said that every politician, that should be their main job. But one thing that I'm going to do is I'm basically going to start forcing people on welfare to get drug tested. And I'm going to require them to have to get a job by a certain amount of time, and that is withstanding certain health benefits. But if you're 20-some years old, healthy, and you're walking around in pajama bottoms, riding a bicycle around town, then we need to do something about that. We got to get people off their lazy rear end. We got to get them up before noon. We got to get them out. We got to force them to work. You know, welfare is only good for people who actually need it. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to drug test every one of those lazy pieces of crap on welfare that's dragging down our system, that makes our country look pathetic.
Progressive Liberal, your response.
I have a few things. First of all, they've already tried this whole drug testing welfare people. They spend tens of thousands of dollars to do it, and they catch literally single digits of people. Once again, that's right-wingers wasting a bunch of money. You know what I would do? First of all, if Jock Samsonite was elected president, I would go back to Canada.
Boy. It's Samson.
Okay, Mr. Simpson, you've had your turn. My turn to talk. First of all, I would go back to Toronto, Canada, where I was just wrestling if he was president. I was there just a couple weeks ago. Beautiful, clean city, recycling bin in front of every single building. It was awesome. So I love Toronto. I love America, too. I just would like it to be a lot better. And it certainly would be a lot better if Hillary Rodham Clinton was president, not Trump. Now, if a progressive liberal was president, which, by the way, plenty of people, lots of people are saying, that's what Trump says, but unlike when he says it, when I say it's true, lots of people are saying I should run for office, but I'm not going to because I like making towns, I like wrestling, and I don't feel like begging people for money, which is what actually a lot of you quote-unquote conservatives actually do. Because more of you are on welfare than any liberal, but that's besides the point. If I was president or of any office, I would go to Australia's rules as far as guns go. Because you know what? They had a mass shooting in 96. And unlike the people here, they didn't say thoughts and prayers. Not that I'm invalidating thoughts and prayers, but prayers without works are dead. Faith without works are dead. That's in that book you like to quote all the time, Jock Simpson.
Yeah, it's called the Bible. It's called the Bible.
I know what it's called. I know what it's called. But what I'm saying is I would take Australia's ways as far as gun control goes. And you know what? They don't have mass shootings anymore. And they don't have a bunch of people fear-mongering about it. And they don't have an NRA over there. I would truly make America great again, unlike if you were president and unlike Donald Trump being president.
Oh, here we go. You support a lady. You want to talk about,
what is the matter if she's a lady? What is
you
your
want to support a lady?
women?
You want to support a lady who screwed over Bernie Sanders. If it wasn't for that, the Democrats might have actually won the election. But Hillary and her crooked team had to go screw it all up.
At least
So go ahead and talk about
Russians.
guns. Oh, yeah, right. She was probably right there in bed.
All right, gentlemen.
And
What are you going to say when Trump is actually impeached? Are you just going to call it fake news?
It ain't going to happen, brother.
It is going to happen.
You guys are going to find stuff. You guys are going to find stuff and cry for the next 4
Well, there's
years.
stuff to be found. That's why we're going to find it.
All right,
And
gentlemen.
by we, I mean my good friend Robert Mueller.
Let's bring it down.
We're all still alive. We're all still alive.
Gentlemen. That's going to wrap up round 2 of the Great American Wrestling Debate here on the Wrestling Radio Show. We're going to take a break, and we will be back for round number 3, the final round. This is the Great American Wrestling Debate on the Wrestling Radio Show. Wrestling Radio Show is back on the Jock, 1300, 1340 AM. A unique wrestling experience tonight. This is the Great American Wrestling Debate, and we have reached the final round of the Great American Wrestling Debate. And in this round, it will be closing statements. There are no questions. Each of you will make your final statements to each other before your match on Sunday, November 12th, action-packed wrestling live pro wrestling at the Roll-A-Rama 137th 7th Avenue in Huntington. I flipped a coin before the start of the show, and Jock Samson, you will open round number 3. So, Jock Samson, your last comments to your opponent, the progressive liberal, Daniel Richards.
First off, Daniel Richards, I want to say by how much I respect you as a professional wrestler, and I know you are a tough guy, because I've seen you wrestle before. We were actually in the ring together one time in War, West Virginia, all those good people there. And what you represent, Daniel Richards, is the lowest of the low of the kind of people in this world. You're like a catfish. You're like a bottom feeder. You're just sitting out at the bottom waiting for all the trash. You're watching CNN and all their fake freaking news, wanting to find out all the garbage that's going on in the world, and all that you want to do is throw gas on the fire and make the good American people worry. You want to stress people out by being the lowest of the low, the biggest pieces of dog shit I have ever encountered in my freaking life. You and your whiny liberals can do a favor here. We're going to be in a college town. Sure, there's going to be some liberals floating there, and none of them's got the balls that get in my face. I'll give you props. You're gonna stand in the ring with a real man who's been all over the damn world. You're gonna stand and go face to face with me, and I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be no damn wrestling match, Daniel Richards. It's gonna be a fight, because I'm fighting for the people of West Virginia, but fighting for all the good conservative people out there who are God-fearing people, and I'm fighting for them good people in Texas. They're in my heart right now. So, Daniel Richards, you better tape up your fist. You better take your ibuprofen the night before. You better, I don't know if you drink beer. You probably drink some stupid crack hipster beer, but you better be ready for the fight of your freaking life, because Jock Samson is not fighting for himself. He's fighting for America.
Daniel Richards, the progressive liberal, your closing statements to your opponents for Sunday, November 12th. Jock Samson, go ahead.
Jock Samson, I want to say I respect you too. I do think you're tough. I do think you're a well-traveled wrestler. And you won't be an easy task for me. But I will beat you, Jock. And let me just touch on a few things you said. First of all, you Republicans always want to whine and cry about liberals publicizing or politicizing a tragedy, but you just did it. You just did it with the whole incident in Texas. I want to make those tragedies go away, but there's going to be no bigger tragedy than what I do to you this Sunday at the Roll-A-Rama in Huntington, West Virginia. And yeah, there will be a few liberals standing there with me, but not enough. Not enough, Jock Samsonite. And let me tell you one other thing. The progressive liberal is just tired of the right-wingers in general. And I am the voice for these liberals, the liberals that will come out in West Virginia. That's why those people got behind me. You want to talk about my behavior? My behavior is what made me a viral internet sensation. And I don't brag about that much, Jock, but I know that eats at you. I know you can't stand it. I know you wish you were in the position that I was in all throughout this summer, and still am. I just had Japanese media at my house, and they're going to be coming with me to other events. So, Jock, I know it bothers you that my progressive ways have elevated me to a national and international platform, but just deal with it. And just deal with the fact that your whole Trump regime is going down just like you are this Sunday in Huntington.
With that being said, we are going to wrap up the first ever Great American Wrestling Debate here on the Wrestling Radio Show. Don't forget, you can see these two in action facing each other. Action-packed wrestling, live pro wrestling. It happens Sunday, November 12th, the Roll-A-Rama, 137th 7th Avenue in Huntington. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time scheduled for 7 p.m. Get your tickets there. $10 for general admission and $15 will get you front row to see this battle of North versus South. I want to thank both of our debaters tonight, the progressive liberal Daniel Richards and Jock Samson. Both of you gentlemen, thank you for being on the show tonight and participating in this unique wrestling experience.
Hey, Sean, the poll, I just got this, just came on the facts, came up live off the wire here. The polls are in. I have defeated Jock Samson in this debate 80% to 20%. Unbelievable. The numbers are in. That's the final tally.
Yeah, is that all fake news? Is that fake news?
Nope. No, that's real.
All right, folks, that's going to wrap up the Wrestling Radio Show here on the Jock, 1300, 1340 AM. We thank you, and check out action-packed live pro wrestling this Sunday night. This is the Wrestling Radio Show, where wrestling and radio are real and life is fake.